What's going on?
You guys are almost up.
Okay.
Got about a minute. So I'm streaming now. So, and again, just remember to throw your voice. I should be able to pick everything up.
And anyone who didn't want to sit on here, if you want one,
Thanks.
we'll be on in a second. Yeah. Yeah, just one. That's good. Is there like a countdown?
You guys can go ahead.
So we just want to thank you guys for the opportunity to present our project to you. It's been an honor to just be able to submit and make it to this stage, so thank you for that. It's called the Urban Living Art Project. And so what we've imagined would exist right in this space outside of the Covelli here, right in front of this parking lot. And we really targeted that space for the specific reasoning of this corridor that Covelli brings. You have events here that are bringing 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people to a concert. Over the weekend recently with the Beth Moore, I saw parking lots filled. Even Daniel, owner of the Soap Gallery, and etching out that artistic space. We thought this would leverage all of those people, whether they be local or transient, that are coming through this corridor and experiencing our culture and our community and the reviving pride and passion that's flowing, but really don't have a visual representation of that to share in the social space that we live in. So wayfinding is the category that we went after, but we wanted to transcend a little bit and go beyond wayfinding as just being a place that we're trying to identify and direct you to, but being a opportunity to share, similar to what you see Cleveland doing, right? That community isn't just all in a hashtag. They're all in with social media, and so these types of spaces you'll see here, it's not just a wall, it's a living wall. Right? And what we mean by that is we don't want you to just gawk and stare at this wall. So what we've used as an element to incorporate resources from the community are the current City of View rebranding campaign, which will draw you in. So you'll see that the City of View obviously accentuated of running right into, so imagine this being smashed together right into that Youngstown. But can you imagine someone leaving a Lionel Richie concert with all their girlfriends, and they're so excited, and they want to run up to this wall and stick their face right in that O and share that I'm from Youngstown, right? And so on the opposite side of this wall, the functional use we want to give to this space is similar to, a patio outdoor, so you see the umbrellas giving a little shade to that. But we also want to, again, the living portion of this wall is coated with something that can allow artists to paint on that side of the wall, right? And so what will live on the front face of this will be the opportunity to share socially where you're at. On the opposite side will be the opportunity to engage the community, to not just stare at this space, but engage with this space, and then invite your friends to come down and meet you and hang out in this space. We talk to the community stakeholders in the area, Daniel, again, being from the SOAP. If you go to the Ohio One building, you go to the post office, you go to the Bar Association, and you ask them, where can you enjoy lunch outside? There doesn't exist a space as of yet. So why not do it here? So this wall also serves as a bit of privacy for them as well. When you're sitting on the opposite side of that wall, you're less affected by all of that traffic that you're going to engage with. So we really thought out the elements of this and why it's titled A Living, it's not just a wall. So I'll let Madeline come in and talk a little bit about some of the research that they've done with what the arts are doing to the community for us. So, Madeline.
So just to begin, one of the commonalities that Daniel, Derek, and I all share is the need for to engage with the community, being with the the Soap Gallery, the Youngstown Flea, and at the university, only a few feet up the road. And in part by that, last semester I engaged with a research partner at the University of Akron, a qualitative research project that asked both artist practitioners and consumers in the Mahoning Valley across 5 counties their perception of the current state of the arts in the valley and what they would like to see. And we received an overwhelming amount of responses, and some of the quotes that were submitted read that there's a sense of hope here, that we have deeply creative people. The arts are a valuable and important part of education and enjoyment, and many other sentiments echoing the need for a public art space.
And you might not see that in your handout because it was the 6th page. We wanted to stay within the guidelines of 5, so we can share that with you as well.
So I'm going to discuss a little bit what's behind the wall. So using the advisement of Stroll Architects and knowing the space from working and living in the downtown, what the space provides is a quaint area to come to, a green space. The wall in the front will say, as the business card of the downtown, welcome to the city of you. It's exciting. It's that curiosity that takes the first few footsteps, away from the Covelli Centre and bring people back into the downtown. But on the back side, it's for those that live, work, and breathe the downtown. It's that little bit of an escape. You have the postal workers right behind me that, they're cooped up inside. They come across and sit on, we have an idea of putting pavers behind the wall, using pavers and creating a chalkboard / multi-use purpose on the back of the wall. We were thinking and having designed where the O is, you're maybe something to stand up on, like a little bit of a bench to get the little boost. So there will be that, I would use the word of a chair rail, but it's a bench that goes along the wall. But in turn, we have a few of the community schools that are now forming in the downtown. They're able to bring their students over there, engage outside with the chalkboard on the back side, and then having the pavers, same within cost, simple black and white paint, you're able to turn the pavers into a checkerboard. You're able to get multi-use out of that. It's for relatively low cost to get bigger appeal out of the space. Using additional resources in the end is to add, make quality materials for the city of Youngstown, the wall, make that quality, using the additional resources to be inventive, to create, an inviting space behind it, to invite the community to keep exploring throughout the downtown.
Exactly. And so I'll have you refer to a little bit of this. We'll call out some of the things that you have in your handout. So again, when we talk about the wayfinding category, we kind of now is the time and place. The idea of place can go beyond fixed geographical coordinates. And so we want to point to our kind of intellectual and emotional desire to share not just a physical space, but an ideological space of this is our community, and we want you to take pride in that. But if you look at the objective, again, provide an artistic and functional outdoor seating area as well. So this has a lot of elements to it that we just want to really, really highlight. But if you'll turn, we want to talk to you about kind of the budget piece and how we're going to really execute on this plan as well. The next page for that really gives an idea of the sequencing of that. And then the page beyond that gives an idea of cost that we want to get into it. Now, we will be transparent and admit to you that we had some challenges, obviously, in forming a team and getting out to the right people. So we got a hold of Strollo literally October 31st. And so we hit that November 1st deadline, right on the money. But we're confident they've been in operation for 6 decades. They're noted for what you see in Williamson Business College, Mill Creek Park's Davis Center, the Joni Abdu Cancer Research Center. And so they're very confident in this project, and what they communicated to us is it's a piece of cake. And so when we talk budget, though we may not have granular details throughout, we can give you an idea, obviously, of that sequencing and as well the cost. So when you look at fabricating, we want to make this signage something obviously that's unique to the community. So they've reached out to Mike Nick Signs, and we've talked that through his ideas of fabricating this out of materials that are even found locally through old warehouses that we can get a hold of and then paint it. So we've estimated that cost around $9,500. but strength of Strollo's resources can pull in, bring that way down with some in-kind donations. That leaves us a little bit more room. So maybe if that sign only costs us $8,000, we can redirect those funds elsewhere. A lot of resources that you see on our budget talk about how Strollo has committed their in-house resources. So they have, people who are literally friends of theirs that they've worked with, that can go in kind with the labor portion of things, the material portions of things. And so you'll see, the wall and ground mounted lights. So another element we want to play around with is U portion of the sign with lighting, right? So that element of, can we put some ground lights there, shine it on that U, and it change color at night, right? So those are all the sustainable, scalable elements that we want to play around with the project as well. So if you'll take a look beyond that, you'll see that, again, sequencing when we talk about that, but just wanted to talk about some of the community research engagement that we did really quick. Rich Mills from the Ohio one, didn't have really much creative input, but thought the idea was fantastic. He wants to see the city go for more things like this. Even the Oslowski Jaminet architectural firm, been around for years, a community stakeholder, excited to see something like this, the ability to come outside a bit more. And Daniel himself, anything that has to do with the arts. We know that the arts revives communities. And so this is our opportunity to, again, Broadway play, open these curtains right on this corridor and show people some pride and passion in our community and share that right on their social medias. So.
And the last note from me is, you look at this as, we all know downtown Youngstown, and when we think of the center of the downtown, we think of West Federal and where all the businesses are right now. But we need that curiosity, that footstep to get people that are coming to Covelli events to explore downtown a little bit more, and having a space that's diverse, multi-use, as a wayfinder to point that direction. Hey, take 2 steps over this way. Maybe have the pavers behind it, have a place for installation art, have a few sculptures on the pavers, have checkerboards, when they're having the fleet, bring it over there, have a little bit, take your selfie right there. It's using that social aspect to create that wayfinder to get them out into our downtown to know what we love, but for everyone else that's not from here to explore.
And just to echo how Derek introduced the project, this, if implemented, would cut across demographics, cut across income levels, be available to all citizens of the city and beyond, as both a tourist element to, again, serve as a wayfinding object and say, hey, we're in Youngstown and we're proud of it, I'm proud. And also for the people who live here to take ownership of where they are.
All right, so we'll open that up. This is the piece for questions.
Could you introduce yourselves and what your qualifications are?
Yes, absolutely. I'm Derek McDowell. I'm the founder of the Youngstown Fleet and the We Are a Generation Apparel brand. I spent about 12 years in the corporate world working for AT&T. Prior to that, Cellular One, if you're old enough to know Dobson out there. So 12-year sales background prior to that, art world. I spent 3.5 years at YSU in the graphics world, graduate of Cheney High School, and lover of this community.
Okay. My name is Madeline Grimes. I'm a 3rd-year student at Youngstown State University, where I study arts administration, marketing management, and nonprofit leadership. And I feel this project namely encompasses all of the things that I'm studying, and I've held numerous nonprofit internships and as well as marketing. And I'm really happy to work with Derek and Dan.
That's why I wanted him to go next, because hers is
Mine's on immaculate. My name is Daniel Roebuck. I am the owner of the Social Gallery in downtown Youngstown. I am a board member for the Legal Creative. It is a nonprofit that provides legal assistance for the arts in the community. I'm a multiple masters, working on my multiple masters at YSU right now for community development. Also American Studies, a few of those, and then I'm a lifelong member of Youngstown as well.
Are you acting as the designer / artist for the team?
More or less. The front of it, more of the architectural spot of that is we'll let the architects deal with the wall, the bigger parts, but coming behind it with being innovative with creating the social space for the people living in the downtown having the pavers, having the chalk walls, multi-functions. You don't just want to have a site that's plain and just have one purpose. You want to have multiple aspects. So it's going around realizing if there are $10 left here, can we run over to, I don't want to say Home Depot, but run over to the Habitat Home and get a few of their different colored tiles and use the tiles as chess pieces or something like that. So being innovative in that sense, though, coming up with creative ideas for that.
Do you have a plan for maintenance on the site?
Well, we talk about that and again the scalability of it because we want again not to just end here. So between myself as the founder of the Flea, we have built within that opportunities to drive revenue using parking lot. Right now we don't charge for parking, so an initiative to take care of that space can be built into parking to say, hey, give a quick donation for this effort. We had other members who were going to submit. Mike Gibson had an idea for, again, the large-scale chess piece. Maybe that couldn't fit within our budget, but we said we'd take a look at that piece again and maybe do some fundraising between the Youngstown Flea as well as using the Soap Gallery, who has a venue to do, things like the paint and sips that you do for fundraising. So we have thought of that, again, really wanting to make sure we stay compliant with the ownership of that space. So we weren't for sure if we could do those types of things beyond if the project came to fruition, but if we're allowed to, absolutely.
So I think it takes it past there's that July deadline for the completion of the project. It's for after that project is done, it's coming up with the notable funding to keep the project going. Having the sip and pace, having like an outdoor yoga space, having multi-purpose, let's say someone wants to have a business retreat or reception, schools want to rent that space, is creating a general fund or, a nonprofit that would take that on their arm, maybe like Cityscape or something that would use those funds that come in then to take the rental fees, take the flea fees, take the soap fees, Ohio ones, anyone that's using that space, and use those funds to go back in and get a, maybe not monthly, but every 3 or 4 months hire someone to come in and do improvements or upkeep on the property.
I have one more question. You talked about having some sort of material or coating on the brick wall for artists to
Yeah.
Is that on the front part or the other side?
Oh, on the back. So on the back, so this is the stone pavers would meet onto a concrete backing. So the cost, it would be cool. I know there are people out of Cleveland right now that are resourcing chalkboards. Chalkboards are about $100 per chalkboard. Budget doesn't really come into that, but you are able to do the grout mixing with the chalkboard paint. It gives like that really nice surface. That's a little bit more weatherable than just the Roebuck coat of the chalkboard paint that they're selling.
So you're thinking more temporary?
More long term. Hopefully we are able to use make it a more durable chalkboard paint that goes on the back of it. So I know we have the Lewis School in the downtown. Invite the Lewis School to come over to have lessons, on the outside, on the backside of the pavers. I know right now we're doing outdoor yoga right now with the Flea, so that's what they would come up and they would do their poses on the benches right behind it and show everyone out front. So it's trying to have sustainable resources on the back, but as get done for the July deadline with that funding that is given, but then with additional fundraising or rentals that comes in from the space, use that money to then improve it, not to profit off it, but to give back into the space and make that into a longer lasting space. So additionally, bringing chalkboards in, bringing better lighting, maybe additionally bringing small solar panels to make it efficient for the lighting, but that is further down the road as the project works.
All good?
Thank
More
you for your
questions?
time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.